Hey guys, it's Tacho here, back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and today we got the Resplendent version of Sophia. Of course, you have to be subscribed to the Fey Pass to get this, but for those of you that were subscribed and you got this unit, we're going to be talking about her today. I'm going to talk about all the possible builds you can run on her and whether or not she's actually going to be a useful unit. So let's just start things off by taking a look at her base kit. So her stats are going to be 42 HP, 49 attack with the weapon included, 21 speed, 30 defense, and 31 res. And unfortunately, she doesn't have any super boons in any stats. So you're pretty much free to customize her as far as IVs go, depending on how you want to play her. And her weapon, Eternal Tome, is a really good one. It grants weapon triangle advantage on colorless type opponents. So that's really good, and that means that she has color advantage against two different classes, which are going to be the green opponents and the colorless ones. So pretty much 50% of the time, she's going to have 20% attack and 20% defense added to her when she's in combat. So very nice stuff, especially for a bait unit like she is. Her speed is very, very low, but that doesn't matter to her because she's got awesome defenses in both defense and res. And her attack isn't half bad either. And honestly, the rest of her passive skills are just throwaway skills. You're going to replace pretty much all of them. But she does come with Dragon Fang, Warding Blow, and Fortify Res. All of which are way out of date and not worth using anymore. So my recommended IVs for her is actually going to be plus defense. And the reason why I say plus defense is because when she has effective against colorless, the main thing that she's going to be really good at is baiting bow units and dagger units as well, since most of the units in the game do not have color advantage on those types of opponents. So Sophia being able to have advantages on them is really nice, and that's exactly what you want her to use. If you're going to run Sophia, then do not shy away from just throwing her in front of all the daggers and all the bow units you can find, and she's just going to dominate them. Of course, plus res is not a bad option as well. She does have a very good res stat. And the advantages you get from plus res are that she will be better when she's baiting staff opponents. Of course, staff units are colorless as well, just like bows and daggers. And she's going to have color advantage on them. So definitely not a bad choice. And you could even go plus attack if you want, because her attack stat isn't too shabby. And with plus attack, she'll be able to deal a lot more damage to the foes. So it's really up to you in terms of which IVs you want to go for. As long as you just stay away from speed, I think you'll be fine. I do recommend plus defense though. And for the budget build, it's really not too tough. All of these skills are really easy to come by, and they're going to make her an excellent choice for baiting all the colorless opponents that I talked about. So the refined Eternal Tome is going to come with Bracing Stance, which is very nice. It's just going to add 4 defense and res to her when the opponents initiate combat. We're going to take Reposition as the assist. I've said this many times already, but really just pick whichever assist you like the most. It really doesn't matter too much. I mean, in some cases you want one of the other ones, like Smite in Aether Raids, or Drawback, or Swap. Just go ahead and pick whichever one you think is going to suit your needs the most. We have Aether as the special attack, since it's not too hard to come by if you're free to play, and it does do a lot of damage and it heals. So I think Aether is a fair option. But of course, you could go with one of the cheaper cooldown skills like Soul or Noontime if you really just want to go for the healing and keep her healthy. Triangle Adept is going to be the A-slot passive, and it's going to augment her effective damage on colorless type opponents even more. They are not going to be able to touch her. Once she has Triangle Adept and color advantage, all those pesky bow units like Legendary Leaf and Legendary Alm are going to become absolute fodder in front of Sophia. She's going to dominate them so badly. It's just ridiculous. And in the B slot, we've got Quick Repost, but there are a bunch of options you can run if you don't want to go with Quick Repost. You can also go for Guard if you want to drop the foe's special charge and make it harder for them to hit you with a special attack. And you can also run Dull Ranged, which is accessible from a 4-star Morgan M. Dull Ranged is going to be really nice, especially against Blade Tome units, because Sophia has color advantage on Nino, and Nino's claim to fame is that she is a premier Blade Tome unit. So you put dull ranged on Sophia, and all of a sudden Nino is not going to be able to touch her, even with maximum buffs. So that is a nice option as well. And in the C slot, we're actually running Attack Ploy, believe it or not. I know this skill is really old and really past its prime, but it still has some uses on units that have decent res, and Sophia's res is pretty nice, especially if you choose to go with plus res as your IVs. So Attack Ploy is going to be able to drop the foe's attack by 5 if she lines up with them and has more res, and that's pretty much going to be all the time if she's specifically fighting against dagger and bow units that don't really have the highest res stats. So it's just going to help her out when she's baiting them. And distant defense in the Sacred Seal slot, of course. It's definitely the way to go on this build since we're not running close counter and all you have to worry about baiting is ranged opponents here. But optionally, if you prefer to, you could run Quick Repost in the Sacred Seal slot and have something else in the B slot, like Guard or Dull Ranged as we mentioned earlier. So for a budget build, this is actually not too bad, and it's going to make Sophia a really good bait unit, especially against colorless and green type opponents. And she's going to hold her own pretty well against red types too, since they don't have color advantage on her, and it's just going to be a neutral matchup for the most part. So great stuff, and she's going to be a nice addition to anyone's barracks, even with a budget build like this. And finally, we're going to wrap things up by taking a look at the high investment build for Sophia. I decided to just go all out and make her plus 10 and give her the plus 10 dragon flowers for this little showcase here, so we can really see how insane her stats are going to look. So at plus 10 flowers and plus 10 merges with the Resplendent bonus, she's going to be at 39 defense and 37 res if you take plus defense as your IVs. This is outrageously high for an infantry mage unit where her weapon also includes bracing stance. So effectively, if the foes initiate combat on her, you can just add 4 more to her defense and res, and she's sitting at a 43 defense stat and a 41 res stat, which is like armor level right there. And of course, because she's an infantry unit, we're free to run all the lull skills on her, like lull, attack, and res, which is perfect since it's going to lower the foe's attack by 3 and also negate any buffs that they may have active on them. So you can just go ahead and add another 3 to her defense and res for that pretty much. And it's just insane, man. This unit is going to be really good. I personally think she's the best colorless bait unit in the game right now. The only other unit that I would say that can compete with her for that is Nagi, but of course Nagi is a 5-star exclusive, and Nagi is an armored unit as well, so if you wanted to, you could actually run Null Sea Disrupt on Sophia and have her bait all those staff units. So even if they've got Dazzling Staff, or in case you're fighting a bow unit who has Fire Sweep Bow, none of that is going to matter. Sophia is going to be able to have color advantage on them and then counterattack them, no problem. And that is one thing Nagi cannot do. So yeah, I would actually say Sophia is now the premier bait unit for colorless types in the game. Really awesome stuff, and colorless type opponents are all over the place in Aether raids. People use them for offense and infantry pulse setups, since it's a little harder to bait them. But when you've got Sophia who has color advantage, it's not going to be a problem at all. And you can also run Pulse Smoke as her C-slot passive, so she can shut down infantry pulse teams as well. Really great stuff. Close counter obvious as the A-slot, so she can also defend against melee type opponents, and Quick Repost in the Seal slot so she can double attack. And optionally, you could also run Chill Attack as the Seal if you wanted to, so you can lower the strongest opponent's attack by 7. And she's just going to be able to tank hits even better when that happens. So this is a great unit, and so far the 2 Resplendent units that we've gotten from the Fey Pass that are free-to-play merge projects, Cordelia and Sophia, I gotta say, these are 2 really great units and really awesome plus 10 projects for anybody playing the game. So they have been holding it down pretty well with the Fey Pass in terms of which units have been getting these Resplendent bonuses. And it looks like the next hero that's going to get it is going to be Azura, who honestly I don't really feel needed it. Her artwork was already pretty good, and she was just a dancer anyway, so she didn't really need the plus 10 to her BST. She really just needed a refine as opposed to getting the Resplendent bonus. I would have liked it if they gave her Gray Waves as the assist, like the legendary Azura has, or give her some kind of weapon refine that can act similar to what legendary Azura does. Of course, she would never be as good as legendary Azura since she's not a flying type unit, but still, it would have been nice for them to give her something like that as opposed to the Resplendent buffs. But it's all cool because, like I said, the free-to-play Resplendent units we've been getting are definitely the stars of the show if you have the Fey Pass. And Cordelia and Sophia have so far both been awesome units. Really happy about that. And that's going to wrap us up for today, guys. So hope you enjoyed the video, and definitely do not sleep on Resplendent Sophia. She's going to be putting in a ton of work, especially if you go ahead and fully invest in her. So keep an eye out for that. And as always, guys, this is your boy Tacho signing out. So I'll catch you guys again in the next one.